beer might be older than writing itself. Some historians argue humans started farming grain not for bread, but for beer. So what if that's true? What does that mean about how civilization actually began? For most of human history, we've assumed agriculture came first and beer came later, almost as an afterthought. But archaeological evidence from a site called Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey, dating back roughly 11,000 years, has forced researchers to reconsider that timeline entirely. Large stone vats found at the site show residue consistent with fermented grain, suggesting that brewing may have been happening before large-scale farming was even fully established. If that's true, it flips the entire origin story of civilization on its head. The traditional beer before bread hypothesis argues that early humans didn't domesticate wild grains purely to survive on porridge and bread. They may have done it partly to secure a reliable supply of something intoxicating, social, and pleasurable. Not everyone agrees with this theory, but the fact that it's even seriously debated tells you something. Beer wasn't a byproduct of civilization. It might have been one of its engines. Whatever came first, ancient Sumeria, in modern-day Iraq, gives us our clearest picture of just how central beer became to early society. By 4000 BCE, the Sumerians were brewing beer on a massive scale, and it wasn't a luxury, it was a basic ration. Workers building temples and monuments were frequently paid in beer, receiving daily allotments as part of their wages, alongside bread. Beer wasn't just consumed in ancient Sumer. It functioned as currency. The Sumerians even had a goddess dedicated entirely to beer, Ninkasi, whose surviving hymn doubles as one of the oldest known beer recipes on Earth. Reciting the hymn to Ninkasi wasn't just religious devotion, it was practically a brewing instruction manual passed down through oral tradition. Beer in Sumer wasn't separate from spiritual life. It was woven directly into it. Ancient Egypt took this even further. Beer was so essential to Egyptian daily life that it was consumed by everyone: pharaohs, priests, laborers, and even children, since fermentation made water safer to drink than the often contaminated Nile itself. Egyptian workers who built the pyramids were regularly paid in beer rations, receiving several liters a day as part of standard compensation. Without beer, some historians argue, the pyramids may never have gotten built at all. But why did beer matter so much beyond taste? The answer lies partly in water. Throughout the ancient and medieval world, water sources were frequently unsafe, contaminated with bacteria and disease. The fermentation and boiling processes involved in brewing beer killed off many dangerous pathogens, making it, counterintuitively, often safer to drink than plain water. For thousands of years, in many parts of the world, beer wasn't a recreational choice, it was a public health necessity. So what happens when an entire population relies on a fermented, mildly alcoholic beverage as a dietary staple? In medieval Europe, this became reality. Monasteries emerged as some of the era's most sophisticated brewers, refining recipes and developing hops as a preservative and flavoring agent starting around the 9th century. Beer wasn't just tolerated in medieval society. Monks, laborers, and even children commonly drank weak, low-alcohol beer daily as a primary source of hydration and calories. Then a crucial turning point arrived: the German Reinheitsgebot, or beer purity law, enacted in 1516. This regulation legally restricted beer ingredients to only water, barley, and hops, aiming to control quality and pricing. It's often cited as one of the oldest food safety regulations still influencing brewing standards today, over 500 years later. A drink once brewed almost accidentally in Neolithic vats had become important enough to require government law. As European colonization expanded starting in the 1600s, brewing traditions traveled across the Atlantic. beer was so essential to early colonial life that the Mayflower reportedly redirected toward Plymouth Rock partly because the ship's beer supply was running dangerously low. Colonists refused to risk the voyage without it. Breweries became some of the earliest industries established in colonial America, embedding beer directly into the foundation of a new nation before it even had a name. So what if those ancient stone vats at Göbekli Tepe really do prove beer came before bread? It would mean something remarkable, that the earliest steps toward farming, permanent settlement, and civilization itself may have been driven not purely by hunger, but by a shared human desire to gather, celebrate, and drink together. From Sumerian wages to Egyptian pyramids to a ship that almost turned back at sea, beer didn't just accompany civilization. It may have helped build it.